I've got breaking news for you tonight. President Trump once again unleashing the might of the United States, dropping, quote, the mother of all bombs. That's right, the largest non-nuclear bomb on ISIS caves and tunnels in eastern Afghanistan. This monster bomb was never before used in combat and sent a chilling message around the world amid escalating fears of an imminent North Korean nuclear test. Joining me now to discuss, Congressman Joe Walsh and Commander J.D. Gordon. Commander, let me start with you. It's interesting that this is one of these bombs that's designed to unearth things. We hit the ISIS tunnels, and over the weekend, of course, North Korea will have perhaps an underground nuclear test, and that's where a lot of that's where their apparatus goes also to hide out and things like that. It seems like a pretty clear message to me.
Hey, Charles, great to see you. Yeah, I think it's a pretty strong message. I think that President Trump said he was going to get tough on jihadists during the campaign, and so he's living up to that pledge. And also for Kim Jong-un, here's a very unstable leader in North Korea. Saturday is the 105th anniversary of his grandfather's birth, Kim Il-sung, the founder of the regime. So I think President Trump is putting leaders like Kim Jong-un on notice.
Joe, just so the audience understands, the commander of U.S. forces in Afghanistan, General John W. Nicholas, says that this was the right munitions to reduce these obstacles, and that they also took, the U.S. forces, every precaution to avoid civilian casualties, obviously understanding that there's going to be some form of backlash over the idea of using something this powerful, a 21,000-pound bomb.
Yeah, amen, Charles. You know what? In America, we tend to elect the opposite of what we've had for president. And for 8 years, we've had a guy in the White House who would never say the word Islam, who always turned the other way when it came to Islamic terror. And now we have the opposite of that. We have a president who's not afraid to bomb the hell out of them. He's not afraid to deliver the haymaker. For 8 years, Charles, we had a president who was all talk. And now we've got a president who's sending a message to the world again. He's not Obama. He's just going to do things. I think it's real important.
So do I. I want to bring in Rick Grenell. He's a former U.S. spokesperson, spokesman for the United Nations. Rick, you know, to Joe's point, it makes you wonder, why the heck have we not used this bomb before? I mean, it seems like the perfect weapon in certain situations.
Well, exactly. I think that it's going to make a lot of progress on our stated goal, which is to defeat ISIS. So Donald Trump has done something that I think is going to help diplomats around the world, U.S. diplomats around the world, in that he has now made the threat of military action a credible threat of military action. That is fundamental to what I do, what diplomats try to do, which is peacefully resolve situations. One of the problems that we've had in the past of not having success when it comes to diplomacy is because we didn't have a credible threat of military action behind us. People knew what the policy was from the last administration. And so when we have now a situation where we can send Tomahawk missiles to take out a fleet of airplanes that delivered chemical weapons, or we have the mother of all bombs dropped on caves to try to defeat ISIS, I think our allies now understand that U.S. leadership is back. That's only going to help diplomats around the world.
General, by the same token, General Gordon, this does remind everyone, including Americans, that these conflicts are far from being resolved. Afghanistan no longer dominates the headlines, but you know, we lost a Green Beret there a couple of days ago, and it's one of these things where you wonder, how do we ultimately resolve? And we know, to Rick's point, we need a combination of diplomacy, but that force, I guess, that was missing, or a determination, it has to be a key component of this.
Well, absolutely. We need strong leadership from the White House, and we're getting that right now against the Islamic State Khorasan group in Afghanistan. We're getting that against Bashar al-Assad with those Tomahawk strikes. And we're also getting tough on North Korea. I think President Trump did a great job with Chinese President Xi Jinping at Mar-a-Lago and talking to him about putting pressure on North Korea, which is why the Chinese have now decided they're going to stop taking coal, or at least they turned back some coal reportedly from North Korea. That's great, because China has to really put the hammer down on North Korea.
Right. And on that point, I want to play a soundbite earlier today when President Trump was even asked about the connection from the news about this Moab, mother of all bombs, and North Korea.
We have the greatest military in the world, and they've done a job as usual. So we have given them total authorization. If you look at what's happened over the last 8 weeks and compare that really to what's happened over the last 8 years, you'll see there's a tremendous difference, tremendous difference. I don't know if this sends a message. It doesn't make any difference if it does or not. North Korea is a problem. The problem will be taken care of. I will say this. I think China has really been working very hard.
Joe, in a Chinese paper, one of their main papers, they made no bones about it, warning North Korea that America, particularly President Trump, brimming with confidence, and this would be the wrong time to test a nuclear missile or to test his resolve.
Charles, you asked the pertinent question, why didn't Obama use this bomb? And the answer is he never had the will. He didn't want to. I can't, this isn't complicated. I can't stress this enough. In the last week and a half, this guy in the White House has told the entire world in no uncertain terms, I'm not Obama. I'm not going to twiddle my thumbs and talk for the next 4 years. We're going to do things, and that's put China, North Korea, everybody on notice.
Rick, the Esprit de Corps
gives diplomats around the world a real hand and a real set of tools for them to be able to use to solve some of these problems. And if you're in military uniform, you're going to be pleased that you have diplomats trying to work out these problems that also have the full faith of the United States government behind them.